Moving forward with some major changes. In just moments, the exclusive factor announcement. Plus, airlines are putting pressure on Congress to end the partial government shutdown as TSA agents continue to work without pay. How long can we expect this stressful situation at airports to last?
The Isiah Factor Uncensored starts now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We begin with breaking news and a Factor exclusive. The Houston Rodeo is announcing here on The Factor, they're tightening up a dress code that aims at addressing what you all have been talking about, clothes worn by some that pushes the envelope of decency off the damn desk. The new dress code policy reads, clothing that is not appropriate for the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo grounds includes, but is not limited to, clothing with objectionable material, including obscene language or graphics, excessively torn cloth, visible undergarments, and or clothing which by nature exposes excessive portions of the skin that may be viewed as inappropriate for a family environment. Wearing clothing, visible tattoos, or any other attire bearing the name, insignia, colors, or indicia of affiliation to a criminal street gang is prohibited on the rodeo showgrounds. This latest news also comes as Houston experienced a perfect storm involving an early shutdown of the rodeo's carnival on Saturday and waves of spring break crowds all over the city of Houston. Some say it's a nightmare that damages the city's reputation, while others say Houston becoming the destination for spring break is good economic news. Joining us to talk about it, DJ Preem of the Chef Radio Network, media personality Nate, influencer Houston's Lala, businessman Rob Wright of Chapman and Kirby, and William Gonzalez, who actually witnessed fights at the Houston Rodeo this weekend. Guys, glad to have you here on The Factor Uncensored. So, Lala, you and I text this weekend. You were pissed off about what you were seeing around this city. Let's talk about that.
It's crazy. Like, I feel like just times have changed. From the rodeo, yeah, the way that people are dressing. I'm all for being sexy. You know that. You see my posts, but there are limits and boundaries. A lot of booty being shown at a family rodeo place is inappropriate. There are levels to being sexy as far as that goes. Spring break is insane, has been insane in Houston. A lot of fighting, a lot of violent stuff. And I think it's just that young crowd that really just doesn't know how to act anymore. They want to do it for social media. It's just really sad to see that. I'm all for a good time. I've been there. You know, I'm more old school, but there has to be boundaries. But to me, that is Houston now. It is 2026. This is Houston. Like, from my front yard, I seen the four-wheelers and dirt bikes, and my video went viral. That's just common in Houston to see that. And just from the spring break to the rodeo, there has to be more boundaries, but I don't see it changing, you know?
Rob, as a businessman, and spring break is good for business.
Sure it is.
Your thoughts about what you're seeing and the end game, which is the economic impact.
Exactly, 100%. So hospitality in the Houston area makes up like 10% of our total economy. So with this being said, this is a good, infusion into our economy from a very slow fourth quarter and starting off in the first quarter. So we welcome, we really welcome, the economic impact that has occurred. Like anything, like Super Bowl, All-Star, MLB, everything has to be managed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you have to prepare for these big weekends. What are you doing as a business owner to prepare for large crowds? Have you talked with your security team? Have you enhanced that? Do you have, internal, things in place to prepare for the onslaught? Chapman and Kirby, needless to say, yeah, we bragged about being the largest day party in the country. We are, but we did take the preparations to prepare for it.
All right, William, you were there at the rodeo, and for those who are wondering, we will have a statement from the rodeo right near the end of this segment. We also want to hear what they have to say. And keep in mind, the rodeo is about children and scholarships and educating a lot of young people. Millions of dollars raised over 5 decades, and they continue to do that, but many people just don't know that. So, William, you were at the rodeo. You took some video. Your thoughts about what you saw?
Man, the rodeo has been, well, the carnival has been very crazy this past weekend. It was actually the first time I go this year. I was in line waiting to get my turkey leg. And, you know, I actually wanted to get a fried cheesecake. My girlfriend wanted to get, fried Oreos. That was something we were looking forward to most of the night after, you know, doing the rides and stuff like that and having fun with the games. Next thing you know, we were waiting in line and all these random fights just started breaking out of nowhere. I see a fight here, a fight there. It was just complete chaos. I counted at least 12 fights that I witnessed my own self, 12 fights.
Were you shocked at that? And we're looking at some of the video you captured here. Were you shocked at that?
I was not shocked at all, no, because before even that happened, there was already chaos, you know, people running around, trying to cause a stampede, you know, saying that there was an active shooter or there was shots being fired. But I looked around and the cops were just calm. So right after, as the night went along, there was already fights breaking out.
Do you think that was intentional, that they were screaming fire in the building?
I think it was intentional, just to cause panic and chaos, because I believe, and it has been shown that there's a trend happening on TikTok.
It's for social media. It's for
social
attention.
Media clout,
and that's why I say it's this younger generation that wants to do it for attention. It's crazy. But it's so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm outside, so I'm actually in the clubs outside for spring break, and what I'm seeing is, like they saying, a lot of chaos. Not really inside the clubs, but afterwards. You know, when everybody's going to the after hours and trying to get into bad habits or good mood or 27-27, they actually made up a thing called Club Gas Station, which was actually the gas station next to Prospect Park. They literally took it over, like Friday, Saturday, and they tried to do an actual club gas station on Sunday. Shout out to HPD because they shut it down and made sure it wasn't gonna happen. But what I will say about the whole situation, like I said, there has been a lot of chaos. There has been a lot of, like they were saying, fights. But I will say they haven't been really violent, like how it could be. It hasn't been how it, or whatever, but it's been a lot of chaos.
All right, Natay?
Yeah, I mean, I think, kids, college students, people have been parking lot pimping since back in the day. Everybody hangs out afterwards. You go to the after spot. There's always going to be a couple of bad actors that make, everything worse. And also, people are disrespectful sometimes, and they F around and find out that, like, hey, I'm with it. Again, with social media, clout, nobody wants to get caught getting beat up on video. So I do think that enhances everything. It's like, you say, because everybody's videotaping everything. So it's like, okay, whereas you might normally, I'm just, I'm going to diffuse everything. Slide, But it's like, you just can't get caught getting punked on camera like that nowadays. You just can't. You'll never live it down.
Horrible situation.
Yeah,
we're not done with this conversation just yet. Now, the Factor asked Houston Rodeo representatives about what else will be done about keeping the peace at the event. Here's their response, and it says, we hold daily meetings with law enforcement and are working with them on an elevated level. Law enforcement and rodeo are actively monitoring social media and deploying additional officers as needed. Together, we are taking proactive steps to help ensure this type of incident does not occur again and to maintain a safe environment for our guests. And of course, we'll be back and continue this conversation right after the break. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. The Houston Rodeo was at the center of many controversies on social media. Some argue the carnival having to shut down early was a bad look for our city and not the fault of the rodeo or its security force, but that of people and their behavior. John P. King on social media had this to say. He posted it on Instagram.
So I saw the video where the Houston Rodeo got shut down, and would you want to take a few guesses to why the Houston Rodeo got shut down? I'll give you a few hints, right? It's not actual cowboys and cowgirls. Got the Houston Rodeo shut down. And you say, John, why do you say that? Go watch the videos. It's the behavior, it's the dresses, it's the lack of accountability, it's the lack of decency, it's the lack of respect for law enforcement. It's nothing new, like.
Now, in case you're trying to figure out what the bleep word is, it's the N-word, and he's blaming black people. Is his point of view valid? Our guests are back to share the thoughts. I don't know who want to take that one.
Well, you know,
I was like, la, 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 la. What you gotta say, girl?
I'm gonna keep it real. I did post a video and I said, is Houston ghetto or are the people that are coming to Houston ghetto? And I hate people that get offended with that, whether it's ratchet, ghetto, whatever. I'm a minority, I'm Mexican. People fought last night at the Tejano day. So it's not even about that. It's just, it's different now. Like, I'm all about having a good time, but there has to be boundaries and just how people act. It wasn't like this before. People say, he said it's nothing new. It is new. I think COVID, a lot of things have changed Houston. Houston has gotten bad, and I'm just going to say it because it is what it is. It's just the break-ins in the cars of everybody in Houston while they're out. The fights at the rodeos. Every day there's been a fight. There was a fight at the Creed show. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like,
But was it black people fighting at the Creed show?
There was.
That's my point. So it's not all black people. It's not all everybody.
Right, it's everybody. That's why when I say ratchet or ghetto, that's everybody. But people want to get offended by that, but it's not that. It's a way of life. I've been a little ratchet myself. You know what I'm saying? It's not that. It's just.
Anybody willing to step out and say what this guy said?
I will say she made a great point. She said something about the pandemic. The reason why everybody's coming to Houston now is because of the pandemic. We were open, so everybody sees the nightlife that's going on here, and they're like, you know, I need to make my way to Houston. And it is a lot of black people that are doing it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm in the urban clubs. I see it. I see it every day. I see it every weekend. It is, unfortunately, it is a lot of black people that are the reason why a lot of this stuff is going on.
Well, I think also it depends on if you're only hanging in black stuff. That's all you're gonna see is the black people doing it. And you know, I'm on the southeast side. I'm like Baybrook Mall, Clear Lake area where I'm at. It's people of all like that are doing things depending on what area you're in. Because to your point, during the pandemic over there at Seabrook Kema, it was different cultures, and if you came up in there, like, they was having a good time too. So I think it's what people are focusing on.
But when is it time to hold people accountable? If you know it's your people,
if you know it's
then
your
you need to do something about it.
I feel like that's what law enforcement is for. How do I look like China? I mean, I'm not getting paid for that. That is not a part of my job description. Y'all need to handle that. Like Rob was saying, businesses need to step their stuff out. You know, y'all are serving liquor. It's hot outside. It's a lot of people.
Right.
Y'all need to control that.
I think at this point, Isiah, you know, we have to embrace the fact that we are who we are now. I know it's hard. I see a lot of folks on social media, please go home, this and the other. It's not going to happen. They're going to come. So we have to get our think tanks together to figure out how we're going to handle this. Even with the rodeo, for example. I'm not on the rodeo committee, but just thinking, you know, off the rip, like, okay, maybe it's family friendly in the cutoff time for that. And then maybe after a certain time, maybe it's 21 and up. Then also maybe factor in the cost of what it takes to get in the rodeo. Sometimes you can price people out of certain things to get the kind of clientele you want.
Okay, and before we continue on, we also want to bring up spring break. A lot of people complained about being taken advantage of, scammed when they came to Houston. I don't necessarily think that may be the exact terminology. I'm not saying that it's not true, but some people are like they were taken advantage of by many of the nightclubs. DJ, you talked about this. You know, they're saying I'm paying $100, $200 for just to get in, and then we've lost our sections, the booths that we had. Everything's gone now.
What I will say is Houston was not ready for this. They were not ready for all of these people to come down here. We knew that it was going to be, 500,000 people. There's millions of people that have came here just for spring break. And the thing is, these lines are super long. So people are paying $100 to get in. That's no normal price. And then they're thinking, I'm about to go pay an extra $100 to try to skip the line. They're not doing that. So it is a lot of that. I just really think that people weren't actually ready. The clubs weren't ready.
But do you think people were taking advantage of any?
Absolutely. Because places that are charging $100 normally don't even charge to get in. So people were taking advantage of. There were certain clubs that claimed that they were having tickets to get in, and they're actually section-based clubs. So it wasn't no ticket price. They were like, I thought I was able to get in with this ticket. No, you actually were supposed to book a section with a bottle girl.
All right. We want to thank you guys for joining us. And, of course, we're not done just yet here on The Factor Uncensored. We're going to continue this conversation after the break.
This program is being brought to you by Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Spring break in Houston was one for the books. We've talked about the fights and crowds the city has seen over the past few days. But does Houston actually have a problem? And is there a bigger issue that our city needs to address and fix? Joining us to talk about it, Houston City Council member Dr. Carolyn Evans-Shabazz and Harris County Precinct 7 Constable James Smokey Phillips. Glad to have you both on The Factor Uncensored. Happy anniversary to Jack Yates, right. 100 years.
JY for life.
There you go. Now, when we talk about what we've seen in Houston over the weekend, spring break weekend, and the fights at the rodeo, do we have a problem, or is this a one-off?
We definitely have a problem, but let's face it, it's not just at the rodeo.
Yeah,
Whenever
absolutely.
you have large crowds of young people, then these types of things happen quite frequently. And it's very disturbing and certainly very embarrassing, to portray our city and our young people in that manner. But we definitely have a problem.
All right. Constable, your thoughts about this situation that we have dealt with this past weekend in the city of Houston, spring break, some of the fights that we have seen, and of course the rodeo has issued a statement saying that they have daily briefings with law enforcement officers. They're monitoring the situation in real time. Your thoughts?
Well, the best thing I see, when you have crowd density, you're going to have issues. But the best thing I saw out of this whole thing is there's no one killed.
Right.
Normally, if it's a large crowd like that, in some cases, say they had an incident on Homestead that happened about maybe a month ago, where 5 people were shot. So in this case here, it's just a bunch of young kids I look at, and it's hard to police young kids because a lot of officers don't want to work these type of jobs because of the crowd density, the crowd behavior. So, and then you got to look at, you got to protect the city. You can't have every officer there working at the Astrodome and then the community's not safe. So,
and we're not just talking about the rodeo, we're also painting a big picture spring break here in the city of Houston. Do we have enough, as you said, boots on the ground when it comes to making sure our city is safe on a big weekend like we recently had?
Well, we project things like this, especially my precinct. We increase our manpower efforts for corner stores. A lot of corner stores are invaded when the large crowds come. So every week we have a corner store initiative called the Blue Star Initiative that we actually attack the corner stores to clear them out and get them away from the community in some cases. We noticed that a lot of people come to these neighborhoods are not from these neighborhoods. But spring break is a different animal for us. I mean, I didn't project that it would be large. I didn't know it was Houston wasn't
It's a new thing.
It's a new thing. I didn't know until my son told me, hey, Dad, we're going to the party, big spring break party. They had parties everywhere.
Ain't no beach in Houston.
I know.
I know, right?
Somebody said a lot of people don't even go to college coming to spring break.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of young folks. I mean, it happened. I looked at Daytona Beach. I think they had issues down there. So,
yeah.
In another area I saw on television where they had the same type of issues. So maybe accountability and behavior could be an issue when it comes there. But it's like, hey, you have different fractions in Houston. You have different fractions of neighborhoods, and they finally meet up in one spot, and everybody got to prove a point.
What we're hearing from the constable is that, you know, this is not anything that's different from what we've seen around the country during spring break. Does this warrant any type of ordinances to be put in place in the city of Houston for weekends like this? Or you just put the manpower out there, law enforcement?
I know of no other way than to put the manpower because it's not predictable. We don't really know. Now, of course, we can kind of figure when a large crowd of young people get together. But it's an even deeper issue. We are letting our children be raised by social media and trash in, trash out. And they're sitting there and they are videoing all of these heinous things that are going on. And they don't have any social skills, and they have no ability to break down the behavior and also to be able to do conflict resolution. And so that's a big problem that's pervasive regardless of whether you are at spring break.
All right.
And also, Isiah,
we're going to take a quick break. We'll let you come back and finish. We'll be back with more of this conversation on The Factor. Stay with us. Welcome back to The Factor. Uncensored Houston got very active this past week. Does the city need a fix to address large crowds of visitors? Our guests are back. Constable Phillips, you were making a point before we left.
Well, you look at boundaries, you look at community pride, and you look at miscommunication. Those are some of the factors that we have to weigh in as law enforcement. But I want to say this, though, Isiah. We're not trying to criminalize these young kids. Now, if you strike a police officer, then you have to accept that responsibility. But our job is not to get out here and criminalize all these young kids that's in college. Some of these young kids are high school students. Some of these young kids are just regular young folk just trying to have a good time. So I don't believe that we should just attack them that strong, but we don't want to criminalize these young folks and before they want to have a future.
All right, Dr. Shabazz, wrap us up.
We don't want to criminalize them, but we do want to have consequences for people that we can identify, because this is a dangerous situation. We were out for council break last week, but I would imagine that now we'll be back in session this week. We will talk about this in regards to anything that we can come up with to help to stop this behavior. Of course, you know, it can be predicted with some certainty that some things may happen, and so we're going to have some things in place, because what we don't want is for people to be hurt. And fortunately, there are measures to stop weapons. That makes me feel a whole lot better. But it's still frightening. People can be killed or hurt in a stampede of students or young people that are running away from the scene. So we can't ignore it, but we're also going to have to make sure that we are on top of it, and that there are consequences for those that we have identified through the media, through the cameras and whatever, to see if they were contributing to this type of behavior.
All right, we want to thank you both for joining us here on The Factor. Uncensored still ahead tonight on The Factor. We shift to the partial government shutdown, which leaves TSA agents unpaid and processing delays at airports that grow worse by the day. Keep it here.
You're watching the Isiah Factor Uncensored.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for the second half hour, The Factor Uncensored. President Trump urging TSA agents to clock in despite not getting paid during the partial government shutdown. He thanked the workers in a post on Truth Social, writing in part, quote, "Keep fighting for the USA, go to work. I promise that I will never forget you." TSA agents missed their first full paycheck on Friday. The funding lapse is tied to a political standoff over immigration, straining airports across the country. More 300 TSA agents have quit since the shutdown began last month, making it harder to screen all airport passengers. Joining us to talk about it, University of Houston professor Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld, Dr. David Branham, and political analyst, I've said your name once already.
We do work together.
Yeah. Political analyst Dr. Dietrich von Bietenfeld and Dr. David Branham, and owner of Wander State Boutique Hotel, Deidre Mathis. Glad to have you both here on The Factor Uncensored. So, Deidre, it has been a nightmare out there for people.
It's been a nightmare.
Traveling to the airport.
Yeah. I mean, TSA has long lines. People are being delayed. And the thing is, if you are caught in a TSA line, the airline does not have to reimburse you or put you on another flight. So it's really stressful out there. So we're really encouraging people. I mean, this is extreme time. You have to get to the airport now 3 to 4 hours before you fly because you don't even want to risk it. You don't even want to risk it.
3 to 4 hours. And we heard of some instances right here in Houston, I think last week, where it was 5 hours plus.
5 hours plus. And so you see how 3 to 4 hours doesn't even sound as bad when you say that. So you want to get there, and because you don't want to stress. You don't want to pack. You want to pack your patience. You want to go there with enough time to deal with the delays and understand that people are not getting paid. People don't have checks to feed their families. So we have to be patient and understand what's going on and be flexible. And so just to alleviate as much stress as possible, get there as early as possible, and just relax.
All right. Dr. Branham, why are we here?
Well, we're here because we've decided to make a political football out of people's jobs, and it's a problem that we continuously have. That's actually been part of our political culture now, where we're going to politicize everything. And so we have people now that average maybe $40,000, $50,000 a year in income who don't have their checks coming in, and they don't know what to do in a lot of cases. If you have 2 or 3 kids, how are you going to tell the babysitter, I can't pay you this week, but I got to go to work? It's really difficult.
And Dr. von Bietenfeld, are you surprised at 300 TSA workers?
Not at all surprised at the quitting. I thought that Congress, even with the number of retirements, even with the emergency essential nature of Congress, where they continue to receive their 6-figure paychecks, I thought by now they would have reached a reconciliation. Most of my forecasts have been right. Price of oil, still good. But at the end of the day, this has been surprising because we've got conservatives who are okay with law enforcement wearing masks, which is one of the sticking points of this passing the Senate. And we've got Democrats who are okay with middle-class families going without food. Anecdotally, when I was flying to Panama, when I was flying to El Paso the past few weeks, I heard TSA agents talking amongst themselves very vocally, not hiding it at all, about their sick days and how they would anticipate this shutdown and address it in a non-unionized fashion. So they're already aware of this. Now, this is anecdotal, but the data shows the cost of the economy. We know that commute costs in Houston, for example, the state of Texas, we've tracked the billions of dollars this costs our economy. This sort of shutdown costs us all across the board. And to Dr. Branham's point, at either partisan side of the aisle, both sides are losing. Conservative principles are losing, and middle class and lower income families are losing. So it really becomes a battle of the elites to say who's going to flinch first.
And many people say in our households, when we run short in one pot, we go to the other pot. There's no other pot the United States can go to for the TSA?
Well, they should be able to come up with a solution. They've come up with a solution every time they wanted money. They've done it to the tune of $34 trillion of being in debt. So there are solutions out there that they can come up with. But for some reason, they decided that they're going to have this standoff and say, I'm right and you're wrong, and people are going to hate you instead of hating me. And in the long run, what's going to happen is we hate all of them. And so, if I would suggest, if you can survive it and you want to stay a TSA employee, to survive it and go to work. And Donald Trump gave some employees $10,000 last time for being loyal. Other employees worked overtime and ended up getting a big block check. If you can survive that, then maybe that's the way to go. But if not, then maybe you should think about another job.
And Deidre, is there a trickle-down effect? Not only airports, TSA agents are in other places, right?
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about it more from the traveler point of view. I mean, we want TSA agents. We need them. These are the people who make sure that we are safe on our flights, we're safe on our airports. We don't want them coming to work stressed out. And so I'm looking at this as a consumer, as a traveler. We need to get this together because we want our airports to be safe, and we don't want 2 to 3 people doing the job of 10 to 15. So from the traveler point of view, we need it, for the safety in our airlines.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor. Still to come, the Houston Rodeo. We revisit this again. They're not playing around when it comes to dress code. When we come back, we'll hear reaction to the newest rules announced for the popular event. Stay with us here on The Factor, exclusive that we broke here. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. People on The Factor's Instagram page, you can go there, they are reacting to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo's new dress code policy that we first broke here on The Factor tonight. Some writing that's too late for the policy, despite there being a week left of the event. And next year, you still got next year. One of the new rules, no exposed body parts that would be looked at as inappropriate for a family environment. They also talk about exposed skin. Joining us now for reaction, fashion expert and media specialist Brigitte Waugh and media personality Nate. So Nate, you're seeing what people are responding, saying it's too late and...
Never too late, never too late. Okay, it's never too late.
Right.
Because, I mean, you still have a week this week, you know? You can overnight some stuff. You know, there's a lot of places to go shopping to get your clothes so you can be, you know, somewhat appropriate or to make sure you're not getting kicked out. The world is just a lot more casual. People are more empowered. They're comfortable showing cheeks and all those things. They're seeing performers in their cheeks. The world is a stage. Everybody got video. They need content, you know? So it's the nature of where we are in society right now.
Should you be thinking about the children at this event because it is a carnival?
I think that is a nice thing that people like to say. You know what I mean? They like to say, think of that children. But, you know, everybody's thinking about the money. They're letting people in. They don't want to distract people, but then, you know, you're still getting more follows and everything when you talk about the women and the clothes and this and that. The performers are sexy. It just kind of is what it is. But, yeah, think about the children. That's how them children get made, though. You know, at the rodeo, that's how they get made.
Brigitte, is it unfortunate that we have to go down this path?
It is unfortunate because the Houston Livestock and Rodeo is like a staple in Houston. And now all of a sudden we have to put in a dress code. It's almost like common sense, people. Come on, dress appropriately. And like you guys said, think about the children because that's how they get made. But it is, you know, when you go to the carnival, it's the little people. And I don't want to see butt cheeks and TNA in the middle of the day. You know, if a kid is there, or even in the evening, if you go, and I want to see that. I don't have a kid, but even if I did, I wouldn't want my child to see that.
And Nate, what would be the mentality that someone would justify that in their mind, knowing that this is a family event? And at its core, people, you know, I don't even think they realize the millions of dollars raised at the rodeo to help children with education, scholarships, you know, hundreds of scholarships each year. But do they take that? No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Yeah. I think it's beautiful, and I don't think they take it into consideration. They're saying that their money that they're paying, they're going to wear what they want to wear. Right. And that's just that, period. And they think that it's good. And those same people, whenever they complain about that, I'm like, but you let your kids watch the entertainers who are showing their booty cheeks. Like, so it's like, it's where is the line? You know, there, I mean, I think there's been all these things of like, yeah, you're right, it's crossed, but like, you'll have the Free the Nipple campaign, this campaign, everybody should be free. So it's like, there is no line. And I think that, you know, they're not trying to intentionally offend the children, but what they're trying to do is do whatever they want to do because they paid their money and they're happy and they're fine.
And I brought you this comment I saw on Instagram. Somebody said, I was fine with it until they said tattoos.
Right. Well, with the tattoo part, it's about, I think it was more about like the gang affiliations and, you know, again, that's for the police task force or the gang task force to deal with. Tattoos in general, I mean, people wear tattoos everywhere all the time. Like, you know, either you like them or you don't. I think people, like, this is America, you know? It's freedom of speech, it's freedom, it's America, you know what I mean? Like, it's America. Like, you should be able to do what you want to do, but also each business has their right to say we want this and we don't want that. So if the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo does that, okay, and then people are going to have to adjust.
And what happens to an institution like the rodeo if they let anything go there?
Well, if they continue to let anything go,
which they're not doing, but I'm saying in theory, if people want to come the way they want to come, they want to behave the way they want to behave, what happens to an institution like that?
Well, you know, in the church they say come as you are, but you still know not to wear a low-cut dress and your butt cheeks out.
Do you know that? We was just talking about that a couple weeks ago with the first ladies. Okay, so do we know that?
Right. So it's scooting over from the church into the streets, but you can't, if they let that go, then anything goes. It's like going to a strip club and just say, hey, put a pole in the middle of the rodeo and then there you go. It's a whole show for people. But I think they need to get a hold of it now if they're going to do something to kind of keep it in decency and in order.
All right, and wrap us up.
I mean, I just think that whatever the artists are singing, dancing, and looking like, the crowd may sing, dance, and look like that too. And so you can't be surprised, and that's across all cultures. I mean, you think of Daisy Dukes in the 70s with the Dukes of Hazzards, like sex sells, and that's all a part. That was the 80s? Okay, the 80s, my bad. You see, I wasn't around then. I didn't know. I just, okay. Yeah, but I mean, just life imitates art. art imitates life.
That's true.
And everybody's paying their money, so
Yep.
There you
good
go.
luck. And the babies, say the babies.
You're going to stop mocking me.
I'm not.
I believe the children are the future.
Yes, teach them well. Let them lead the way. But then when they turn 18 and they're ladies, it's going down. It's going to change. That's all it is.
All right, remember how people used to keep their late night hookups on the low? This era of social media is eliminating that. We'll explain how in a brand new Social Media Monday after the break. You're watching The Factor Uncensored. I believe the children. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. It's Social Media Monday, and a new trend involves people reporting and rating their one-night stands and sexual encounters in the Bayou City. See what y'all have done? See what y'all have done. The videos are grouped under the title First Day in Houston, showing people in bed with folk who are asleep after getting it on. Joining us to talk about it, podcast host, the biggest, First Class, and Edgar Harrison. So, First Class, you ain't in the videos, right? You ain't get caught up, huh? But what do you think about this whole trend that we're seeing?
I mean, it's embarrassing, one, because at the end of the day, I think that everybody's going too much in the social media world to where you're trying to get too much clout in a negative way. Like, I don't want to be the one that's embarrassing myself, because if To be honest, back in my heyday, I'm trying to get me a part 2.
You feel
I ain't
me?
giving
Exactly.
I'm not gonna do it like that.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I just feel like everybody's going too far when you got trying to get the likes, and you getting the wrong crowd to like you. People should
you
like
don't
you
even know.
Yeah, like people don't even rock with you like that.
Yeah.
So they might look at it like how we look at it. Like that's embarrassing.
All right, Edgar, your thoughts about this?
I think it's snitching, if you ask me. Like, the whole point of that whole encounter is to be like, hey, you know, you did this, hey, it happened, it's between us, cool. And like he said, it might happen again. But if you go telling, I mean, it's back in my days, it was okay to brag to your friends, like, hey, okay, I had this, but you going to take a picture of a person in the bed sleep.
Right.
That's kind of borderline where you kind of crossing the lines of you could get, it could be legal action. You get, and you put it out there on social media. And I mean, when you sent the topic, I looked it up, and you seeing all these random people.
Nah, they doing
That's
it for real.
scary. That's real life scary. Like, you cannot be doing that. You can actually get in legal trouble by doing that. So, nah, I mean, back when we kept stuff to ourselves back in the day. You know?
And Biggest, what are your thoughts about it being, number one, potentially dangerous, scary, and there could be legal ramifications, all of that?
Well, let me speak on it, Isiah. So me, man, this is what I'm saying. Texas is the home of the players and pimps. We don't even do stuff like that. You out here exposing yourself. I don't understand why y'all do so much for free, though. Well, they got all these little media outlets. Go put that on OnlyFans. Why did you even show that on your? Why you even show that on your Instagram? You know what I'm saying? This on here forever, bro. I'm like, it ain't even beneficial.
And if you take it down, somebody did a screenshot.
Yeah, I'm like, they done screenshot, recorded it, everything. So all your business out here forever for free.
And we
what
in
was your
Houston,
point?
Everybody know everybody.
Everybody know everybody, man. Like, why would you even do that?
That's like you said, it's snitching.
I think it's just a younger crowd, though. I think it's just a younger crowd. I ain't see too many old people in those videos doing stuff like that.
But again, that's why I say first night in Houston.
First night in Houston.
So they not from Houston.
Exactly.
Ain't nobody from Houston gonna do this.
Exactly.
Yeah, because back in my day, like he said, you know what I'm saying? We ain't do all that. Keep that on
And
the
one of the points someone brought up was, what about the health potential there, the
like
health dangers like STD, all of that.
I would hope if you came to Houston and you just met a young lady for the first night, I would hope you would, use protection. I would hope so.
Things are involved to where they're not thinking that
alcohol and drug use.
Yeah, so but we already at the rate to where the HIV rate is high in Houston. So that's why you're saying I would hope that you come down and do them things. But I just look at it like, if you're exposing this person on social media, you trying to get likes and stuff like that, you ain't thinking about it.
You ain't thinking about that. You're not a rational person.
What I'm about to post in the morning.
Because honestly, one night stand ain't nothing new. This has been going on for decades. That's something that's been going on. So I would just hope you use protection. But I mean, honestly, with the younger crowd that's doing it, it's to the point where they would do anything for the fame.
That's why we can't have no freak niggas, because y'all gonna record everything. That's why Houston can't have freak.
Y'all missing stuff up. Y'all gotta come on with it, man.
All right, really quick before we go, where can we find you on social media? Well, not with those pictures, but where can we find you with your podcast, your courses, all of that?
Y'all know what it is, man. Class in session. Your boy First Class, man. First Classing on social media, all platforms. So tune in.
All right.
It's Keith. KEITH_HTL. Find me on social media.
Man, Mr. Speak On It, your baby mama's favorite content creator, man. You can find me at the biggest_95, man. Tune in. Speak on it.
He is. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Yeah.
Friday is bad news. Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. The Houston Rockets lost against the LA Lakers tonight at the Toyota Center. Factor correspondent Coco Dominguez was at the game. Let's take a look.
Let me tell you, the Rocket fans have to come out in full force this week against the Lakers because there are a lot of LeBron fans, but that doesn't matter. We beat them back in December. We're taking them down this weekend. We're hoping that Kevin Durant breaks the record. 87 points is all he needs to pass Michael Jordan. Yeah. How excited are we?
Yeah, I'm excited. Woo, let's go Rockets! This is a big one. This is the second of a 5-game homestand here at the Toyota Center. Lakers and the Rockets are essentially tied in the standings right now, so this week's a big week for the organization. Kevin Durant right now is 87 points behind Michael Jordan for 5th place all-time NBA scoring list, and so it's going to be a lot of excitement this week as, you know, fans get to track that milestone, which, you know, he's on pace to break at some point later this week.
If we sweep them tonight and Wednesday, that'll put us back in the 3 spot, and that'll send a message to them not to come to Houston.
How exciting is it? First game? First game? Yes. Our KD jersey. Go Rockets!
Yeah, our fans have been great all year. We've been able to sell out every single game this season, the first time since 2018-19 that we've been able to do that. So season tickets, you mentioned, went on sale today. So we renewed over 90% of our season ticket holders have already renewed for next year. And so excitement all around this franchise right now.
Let's do the Southside.
Way to go, Rockets. Now, before we go, Houston welcome iconic boy band B2K to the city. The group was in town for their Boys for Life tour stop at the Toyota Center, celebrating the 24th anniversary of their debut album. Texas State Representative Ron Reynolds and Houston City Councilman Edward Pollard also presented the group with certificates of recognition for the city of Houston. Way to go, guys. And of course, we want to thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Remember to follow us on social media, but first, most importantly, go to and follow our new YouTube page at Isiah Factor Uncensored, where you can see The Factor and many of the episodes that you may have missed already. And of course, follow us on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And don't forget to download the Foxo app, where we're streaming all the time. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great one.